From the Heartland Business and Event Center, nestled in vibrant downtown Jesup, Iowa, home of Farmers Day.
Farmers Day's coming.
Yes.
Who's on that committee? Oh, I am. All right, good.
Alongside producer Blake Tempus and committee member co-host Dale Rueber, I'm Jim Gillespie, and this is the Jesup News for June 22nd, 2026.
I try to retire from that committee for old age, but the guy who runs it is 91, and so he said, you're just a kid, so I have to keep going to all the meetings. So.
You're not going anywhere.
I guess not.
Some advice before we start the show, Dale, from the great W.C. Fields.
Okay.
If at first you don't succeed, try again, then quit.
Yeah.
There's no use in being a damn fool about it.
Yeah, actually, that's probably pretty much my philosophy on things. So.
Yeah. Also, check out the podcast, What's Up with our friend Bubba Seaman. On that podcast, they talk about everything with everyone. Nothing is off the table, discussing real life with real people, the good and the bad, the highs and lows, and everything funny in between. It's an interesting yet entertaining podcast with real people talking about what is up.
I just in Las Vegas they have a contest for try to find the meanest doctor.
Yeah.
The worst, meanest doctor, and the guy who won, they said he won it because when he does a prostate, he uses all 5 fingers.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. Yes. All right. But that said, interesting. I don't know what to say about that.
Don't say anything.
Okay.
Just go right on.
Just let
when
it
you're
flow.
flummoxed, just go right on.
Yeah. So Dale, does the World Cup interest you? Are you a football fan?
Not really. Watching guys play for 3 hours or whatever, and the score is 1-0. It really doesn't do much for me. So I never watched it, but I had a kid playing high school soccer, so of course you go to see the games, and so it is more interesting than I imagined it would be. But I think it's helpful if you know some of the people that are playing. And I'm not a super fan, no.
It is it's the biggest game in the world.
Oh, I understand that, and I understand why too.
Yeah.
I mean, all you need is a couple of nets and a ball. I mean, you don't need hundreds of dollars to outfit each football player, like in American football. Or, I can understand. You can play with almost, hell, you can make a ball out of a bunch of rags and play soccer. Or football. I'm sorry, worldwide football.
It is amazing what's about to happen. A little political here. They blocked the Somalian referee. You know how FIBA and FIFA works.
Yeah.
On the those international federations, you have to if you have if your country has a team in, you must also provide an official, a referee. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they would not allow the Somali official into our country.
Okay. The government wouldn't.
Our government
would.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you? Or?
No.
No. But,
and I'm like you, Dale. I don't get in the argument. I listen to enough sports shows. Even the world guys don't get too excited about America calling it soccer. It's about the game. And they don't want soccer or football. They're fine with it.
Well, we're easily confused, so we can't have 2 sports with the same name.
It is.
That wouldn't work.
It is, but here's a little diatribe about the World Cup. After you hear it, throw me some questions. I'll try to answer it. It opens, I believe it opens tomorrow, which would be what date? Not to confuse our listeners. The 11th.
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow that the first games are played.
Yeah,
and Iran is what they have to play in America. They're staying in Mexico in Tijuana, but they have some games in country, right?
Well, and Dale, if it gets to the knockout round, there's a good chance that the U.S. would play Iran the first round of the knockout round.
Yeah.
So if both teams get that far.
Yeah. But do you think that most Americans are that upset with Iran? Like they want them, they want blood in the water, or
and I don't see that, but the World Cup, for example, there is a group from every country that travels, and this is amazing. From the start of the game till halftime, and from the beginning of the second half till the end of the game, there is a segment of about 100 people from every country that cheers every second of the game, plays a drum. Imagine the intensity that has. So if you ever watch a football game, a soccer game, International Federation, the players go to the front of that group of people and acknowledge them. Mm-hmm. Because that's as intense as you can be as a fan.
Yeah. So have you related to that? The New York Knicks fans are going nuts, as you see on TV, and after the loss, there were several people in San Antonio shirts that were attacked and beat up and their shirts torn off, and fans chased the team bus down the street, swearing and threatening and this sort of thing. And there's a TV show called The Daily Show, national show, and the lady that's the guest host spent several minutes after this referee, Mark Davis, for a couple of calls that were missed in that game. Very upset, and not just a mention, but 2-3 minutes. So just and his picture up there. And if I was him, I don't think I would stay in New York City. So anyway, I'd never heard of this Mark Davis, so I looked him up, and he's a very well-respected referee. But they had a guy who does a little sports blurb. They had him on, and he was talking about he showed those two of those fouls. And they looked really bad, but nothing was called. And he was saying that the NBA did not want a sweep. And so the fix was in. And these referees, the whole crew, Mark Davis, should be investigated and put in prison. And you know what it reminded me of? It was years ago when Lute Olson was the coach. Yeah. And Jim Bain, you remember him?
Yeah, I remember Jim Bain.
That call in Purdue. Yeah. Where he called like a phantom foul that cost the Hawkeyes the game and ultimately, I think, the league championship. And Jim Bain received death threats from Iowa Hawkeye fans. And to me, man, if you're getting that upset over a sporting event, you got to keep your cool somewhat. You can't say I'm going to kill somebody because he caused my team to lose a game. It's called a game. So anyway, but that's what it reminded me of. That is, saying New York City fans are crazy nuts, but, the Iowa Hawkeye fans were crazy nuts too. And I have been in that situation with a little kids game. We were in and it was an all day long thing. And finally, it's a championship game and Jesup is playing Winthrop. And holy cow, the fans were going crazy because they just had a little amateur referees. It's a kids game. And so I've been part of that kind of crowd. And it's scary how intense you can get over, wanting to win so badly. Anyway, so that's a lot like these soccer hooligans that are very violent sometimes.
There is a former Jesup student, foreign exchange student, actually went to the game the other night that President Trump was at. Okay. The third game of the series.
Did you see that? Okay, go ahead.
That's all right. Linda McKeown Furlong is her married name. She stayed with Ron Michael and that family. Yeah. Pam Michael and Ron Michael. Okay. And she sent me a picture from the game. They were in the upper deck, about 75 rows up. And she sent me a text afterwards. She was rather disappointed with their loss. She's a New York fan. She was a foreign exchange student from Ireland that married an Irish immigrant in New York City and lives there now. You're right. The intensity. Intensity of that.
The booing of President Trump, even during the national anthem.
Oh yeah.
And then they showed pictures of him taking a little nap during the game, and the average cost of the seat was like $6,000. That's the average. Yeah. Who knows what the other? But he shouldn't be taking a little nap during the game that costs so much to see if he's such a big fan. And then of course I'll say, well, if Trump comes and they lose, everybody's going to blame him, and I think that's what they all are doing. And it's interesting because they were interviewing him at the airport, about his reception. They were mostly cheers, I think. If you listen to it, you don't hear any cheers. No. So it was, life is very interesting, isn't it?
It is. See, the NBA, Adam Silver, if you remember, President Trump went through some time where he attacked the NBA players about just shut up and dribble. If you remember that quote.
I don't remember that, no. Okay.
And so there is a theory that Adam Silver said that was okay for NBC to
ABC.
Yeah, to play the booing that loud, to be equal.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but the World Cup here,
okay.
The World Cup.
See, I had to put a sport in that I knew before. I'm sorry.
That was
you
good.
Go ahead.
And you'll know a lot of this. The 2026 World Cup isn't just another tournament. It's a continental-sized spectacle stretching from the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The biggest sporting event ever staged on this side of the planet. With 48 teams, 104 matches, billions of eyes watching, the World Cup is less a tournament, more of a traveling festival of nations, stories, and impossible dreams. For North America, it's a moment of transformation. For France, it's a test of devotion. And for the world, it's a farewell to an era. If you remember, the last time I was here was 1994.
Okay, and I did remember that. So,
a tournament too big for one country is what people say. The scale alone is staggering. 3 nations, dozens of stadiums, and travel distances unlike anything in the World Cup history. Teams may hop thousands of miles between matches. Fans will chase their countries across borders, climates, and time zones. It's the first World Cup where you might need a passport just to follow your group in a stage.
Yeah.
Expanded format, 48 teams instead of 32 means more knockout games, more underdogs, and more nations stepping onto the world stage for the first time. Its tournament built on the idea of widening the circle, letting more countries feel the electricity of hearing their anthem on the sport's biggest night. There's newcomers, underdogs, and forgotten stories. One of the most joyful threads of the World Cup is the arrival of first-time qualifiers like, tell me if you remember this country, heard of this country, I believe it's pronounced Curacao.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's in the Caribbean.
Okay.
100, I believe the population is like 180,000 people.
Okay.
I believe they are, the majority of the players are from Netherlands with ancestry from this island. So that tiny island nations stepping into a global spotlight. The expanded field opens doors for small nations, giving fans a chance to fall in love with teams they've never seen on this stage. The episode that inspired this article that I'm talking about, the World Cup's Forgotten Team, this is from The Daily. I got most of this information from The Daily.
Okay.
Is where I got it from. Is a reminder the tournament's isn't just about the giants. It's about the overlooked, the underestimated, and the nations whose stories rarely make the headlines, like Iran. Mm-hmm. Usually Italy's in it.
Yeah.
And Italy isn't in it this year because they were talking because they feared Iran would not be allowed to come because of the conflict. Mm-hmm. And they obviously allowed them. And Italy said they wouldn't come.
Because Iran was in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Italy said they wouldn't come because Iran wasn't allowed to come.
Oh, okay.
They thought Iran deserved to come.
Sure.
It's some last dances for some legends. There's a bittersweet current running between the excitement. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have been going since they were teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ronaldo I have heard of. Yeah, okay.
The Ronaldo and Messi's been playing down in Miami and just playing incredible down in Miami.
And where is he from?
He is from I believe he is from Brazil.
Okay, so is he playing for the Brazilian team then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So their careers have defined a generation, shaped rivalries, and inspired millions. And while legends take their final bows and new waves rises behind them, young stars from powerhouse nations and first-time qualifiers. The first time Pele played in it, he was 17 years old.
Yeah, I heard that on Jeopardy today.
Yeah, but for the fans, the World Cup comes with a price, sometimes a painful one. Tickets are described as eye-watering.
Yeah.
Demand is so intense that supporters are taking on a debt, sleeping 10 to a room, and enduring multi-day layovers just to be part of the moment. The three-country format means more flights, more hotels, more logistics, and more strain on wallets. The episode referenced in this article chronicles fans pushing themselves to the edge financially because the chance to witness the history feels worth the sacrifice. There's one lady from Portugal that asked for time off from her job. They said no, so she quit her job.
Yeah, that's a fan.
That's a fan. This is the emotional math of the sports. The heart says yes, even when the bank account says no.
Yeah.
The host cities from Vancouver, Mexico City, New York City must meet FIFA's upgraded standards, include temporary grass installation in some U.S. stadiums. Weather will swing widely from venue to venue. Teams may need multiple training bases. Fans will rely on continent's biggest airports to chase their teams across thousands of miles. The U.S. will host the majority of the matches, but Mexico and Canada will carry their share of marquee games, giving the tournament truly continental rhythm. The World Cup isn't just being played in North America, it's being stretched across it. Why does this matter to the Steve Brown Arts Center? You asked.
Well, do we have a picture somewhere of a soccer player? Or?
At the Steve Brown Arts Center, we talk a lot about community, storytelling, and the power of shared experiences.
Okay.
The World Cup's all of that on a planetary scale. It's a reminder that sports, like art, are one of the few things that can make strangers sing the same song, cry the same tears, and believe in the same impossible moment. This year's tournament is bigger, messier, more expensive, and more ambitious than any before it. But it's also more human, full of underdogs, farewells, reunions, and the kind of stories that echo long after the final whistle. So
you think a lot of people will be skipping work to watch the games on TV or something?
The American games.
Yeah.
You know, because there are a lot of people that are soccer fans, a lot of expats that are soccer fans in our country.
First game is against some small little country, isn't it? It's not.
Is it Paraguay?
Maybe, I don't know, but it's nobody. You know, it's somebody say, well, we should beat them,
small.
But it doesn't always happen that way.
It's Friday. It's Friday at 7 o'clock on Fox.
Okay.
The Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We'll be right back. All right, the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We're back, and the U.S. plays Paraguay. Paraguay. We found.
And Paraguay is where?
Paraguay is, what do you mean, where is?
Where is it in the world?
Paraguay is, in South America, but where?
Well, it's in South America. That's close enough, yeah.
I didn't understand what you meant.
Well, I meant where the continent is. Okay. All right.
So Dale, what do you have for us besides confusion?
We talked about music a little while ago and nations needing a song. So what song would you put the most that goes with the South during the Civil War? What was their song? Dixie. Okay. Well, there's just some interesting things about Dixie that I have discovered in my little book here. The Greatest Stories Never Told. Okay. Dixie, the anthem of the South, was actually written in New York hotel room by a man from Ohio. The year was 1859, and composer Daniel Decatur Emmett wrote the song on a rainy Sunday afternoon for Bryant's Minstrels, one of the black-faced minstrel shows popular at that time. It proved to be such a hit that other minstrel shows around the country started using it too. In 1861, it was played at the inauguration of Jefferson Davis as President of the Confederate States of America. Soon it became the marching song for the Confederate Army. It is marvelous, wrote one Southern soldier, with what wildfire rapidity this tune Dixie has spread across the whole South. This was an outrage to Emmett, a staunch Union supporter. If I'd have known to what use they were going to put my song, he reportedly said, I'll be damned if I'd have written it. So Emmett, the creative Dixie, was actually a damned Yankee. It made a tremendous hit, and before the end of the week, everybody in New York was Swishly when it first came out. It was that fast, and this is, no media, no radio or whatever. So, and the day after Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox, President Lincoln asked a band outside the White House to strike up Dixie. I've always thought Dixie one of the best tunes I ever heard, Lincoln said. Our adversaries over the way attempted to appropriate it, but we have fairly captured it. And then a little bit about Dan Emmett, a contemporary of Stephen Foster, who wrote
the Battle Hymn of the Republic,
My Old Kentucky Home, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Didn't he write the Battle Hymn of the Republic too?
I don't think so, but maybe he did. We'll have our psychologist out here or whatever he is. Look it up. Okay. Dan Emmett wrote 2 other minstrel songs that became American classic: Jimmy Crack Corn. You remember that? Jimmy Crack Corn and I Don't Care?
Yeah.
A big tune. And Old Dan Tucker went to bed without his supper. Okay. He wrote those also. After the Civil War, he came to cherish the South's love of Dixie. In 1895, at age 80, he made a farewell tour and sang the song to standing ovations across the southern region. So, pretty neat, huh?
It is. It is unique.
Okay.
Did you know, I'm going to wander here a little bit. Minnesota has the Confederate flag from a very big battle. I don't know if it was Vicksburg or where it is. Mm-hmm. And they've asked for it back multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, who was the professional wrestler? He was
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura was the governor when they asked for it back. He said, "Why would we give it back? We want it."
Yeah.
So
they still have it.
Still have it.
I know in the Iowa Historical Museum in Des Moines, they had several captured because Iowa had a lot of soldiers in the Civil War, and they did very well. And so I don't know if they still have them or not. I don't know. I know they're giving back Indian artifacts, but a lot of those were dug up out of graves, which so they should give them back. Yeah. But there's a real move to do that, I know. So okay. Heard about Jesup native Brody Cresser playing baseball for the University of West Virginia, and they are starting Friday. First game in the College World Series in Omaha. So he's a grad student and played ball at Jesup and has been in West Virginia and doing really, really well. So it's kind of neat to have a local kid play ball. I guess he's a very valuable player. He scored the winning run in the game that got him over the hump there in West Virginia. So speaking of baseball, I was going to talk about the Iowa Cubs game. I went with my wife and my grandson Saturday night. And it was a second game of a doubleheader, so it was a 7-inning game. So I think it was the second inning. This batter comes up and the pitcher walks him, but every pitch that was not a strike was right at the guy. He was ducking and weaving at his head, at his body, and so as he walked down to first base, he had words with the pitcher. And so the managers come out and the umpires gather around, and so everything went on. So the next time the guy comes up, the pitcher plunks him right in the side with the second pitch. So the umpires immediately throw him the pitcher out of the game. And he's just kind of smiling as he walks out. Well, then the Iowa Cubs manager comes out and argues, of course, so he gets kicked out of the game. So the game goes on. So a little while later, it's a 1-0 game. And then all at once they put in a pitcher, the Cubs do, and he gives up a home run. Then he gives up another home run, gives up a walk and another home run, and then he gets somebody out, and then another. So he's giving up 5 runs in that inning. And so, things are getting a little tense. People are not happy. So the next inning, a guy is stealing third for the Cubs. And the catcher has trouble getting the throw down there. And the umpire says that there was batter interference with the catcher and calls the batter out, which was the third out of the inning, which got him out of a tough spot they were in. So then the other manager comes out and he's yelling. So it wasn't the Iowa Cubs, it was the other team, the Toledo Mud Hens. He came out, he started yelling and screaming. So they kicked him out. The guy who took over from him, he got kicked out also. So I don't know where they got the third guy to run the team. So all at once, it was a very boring, dull game, nothing happening. All at once, there were just fireworks all over the place. And so it was very exciting, not baseball-wise, but seeing all those home runs were nice. Right. I don't know if you've been to the Iowa Cubs. They have that down the left field line.
Okay.
And if you hit a ball, a home run, and it lands in that glove, you get the player gets a certain cash reward or something. Well, guy just barely missed it. I mean, he really cranked it down there, which was kind of exciting too. Yeah. So anyway, was kind of an exciting game after that. Okay. But I was just going to say, the thing that got me, I do think about this in football too, where someone gets a taunting penalty.
Yeah.
Or, something where he wasn't thinking and it cost his team 15 yards in that case or whatever. In this case, the pitcher, for some reason, was not happy with that player. And I don't, of course, I'll never know the background of that. He was doing really well for the Cubs. And then all at once he's out of the game, And so he put his own personal interests ahead of what the team, what would be the best for them. And so I always wonder about that. Players let their emotions do that to them. So you ever have been in that situation?
Well, there's a great story. Yeah, there's a great story. Greg Maddux, when he was with the Braves, he was a young pitcher, and he was just called up from their farm team, and he was right on the edge, and he was pitching, and one of his guys got beaned, and Bobby Cox told him, respond next inning, hit this guy.
Yeah.
I've listened to like presidents and general managers in interviews, and they actually talk about before the game if a beanball war breaks out, who they're going to hit, and what they're going to target and why. Well, here's Maddux right on the edge. If he doesn't get an out, he's probably going back to the minor leagues. And Bobby Cox gives the order to hit the guy. One of the older guys, one of the veterans on the team, and the infielder says, you don't have to do that. You don't have to hit him. Don't do it. And Maddux, one of the greatest control pitchers in the history of the game, hit the guy.
Yeah.
Got sent back down the minor leagues. Did it anyhow, to his credit.
Yeah.
Still got called up. Had a Hall of Fame career. But.
Yeah. I was at a Cubs thing, and I can't remember the pitcher now. They called him Red, but he was talking about how he hit somebody in a game, and it was against the Mets, and the guy charged out, and they scuffled and fought, and everybody came out and everything up. And he says in those days they got to calm down. The guy went to first base. He kept on pitching, and so there's a lot of animosity still. And then Lee Smith, I remember he was a great big man. He said he was there, so he said, well, he took over the story. He said, well, I came out in the ninth inning, and the first thing I did was plunk this guy right in the side, and then I looked at the Mets dugout like, where you at? I said, nobody moved, and I could see that. So okay. I have some medical news for you guys. You guys are all confirmed bachelors here about the difference between PMS and menopause. They've been studying this. Yeah. So if a woman with PMS will kill you, okay, but a woman with menopause will just make you commit suicide. So
okay.
All right.
Onward,
Christian soldier.
Yes.
All right. Coming up at the event center here on the 15th, Blended Bliss food truck. That doesn't sound like Blended Bliss. Like you need to go there.
That's got to be a dessert food truck.
You would think so, right? Or you go there with your sweetheart to find something chocolatey or something. I don't know. And then here's one more our style: the Hangry Hobo.
Ooh, yeah.
HANGRY, Hangry Hobo.
Oh, yeah.
Food truck. That's more our cup of tea, probably. So.
Dale, I'm interested before you go on here.
Yeah.
What are the food trucks that are going to be at this year's Farmers Day?
Well, they're probably on here. I think Miller's Barbecue. What's our Mike Farrell's truck?
Oh yeah, the
pizza and lobster. Yeah, he's going to be at the Independence at the county fair, so he's not going to be at Jesup. But I think Miller's Barbecue is going to be there. It's their last shot. This is the last time he's selling his stuff out. He told me,
okay,
and getting out of the business. And Fat Roy's food truck will be there. And of course, the Lions will be selling food. St. A has a food tent. The Scouts have a food tent, and I don't know if there's another food truck or not.
Is that lemonade? Is that lemonade?
I have not heard. I don't know. I would imagine because they did really well last year. They were surprised at how well they did, so I wouldn't put it past them. But I don't know. It's a fine line between having too many places or not enough, and the main thing is. This Fat Roy's is that it's so different from everything else that we've got that we thought it'd be good to have that variety. And so we're having this Mexican food truck there. So,
okay.
So that's how that's working out.
Yeah. I've never experienced Fat Roy's.
Well, I had something from them every now and then when they're here in the parking lot at the event center. And usually it was like a burrito or something, and they're quite large.
Yeah.
And but they're really good. So
I love street tacos, but street tacos are so small.
Yeah. Well, there's a gas shortage, so you should eat more tacos. Exercise group at the library, 8 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Card games on Tuesday at 1. Remember that. And paint, sip with Allie. Okay, that's done. I'm sorry. Tech help on Mondays at 9 if you give them a call. And the family Lego challenge is on Tuesdays. All summer long we'll be doing that. Crafty Creation Sun Painting. We should do this. June 15 and June 26 at 10 in the morning.
What are those days?
15th is Monday.
I could do that in the mornings.
Yeah,
on Monday.
And it's called John could look this up. CYANOT types. It'd be CYAN cyanotypes. Cyode. I don't know. One of the earliest known photographic processes. Didn't you take pictures? You should know all about this. So it's right in your wheelhouse. Craft and snack on the 25th. At 2 o'clock, you can make beaded plants and then your own mug cake.
Dale, you've got to stop.
If I had a cake that looked like your mug, I would not eat it. So.
You've got to stop taunting the hundreds of fans we have in our audience with questions like that.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. The Adult Crafting Social Group on June the 19th. So it's for handcrafters. I don't think that we're in that. You can plant a seed on the 17th to the 24th at 10 o'clock. Celebrate summer and plant some seeds. The Monday movies, June 22nd, The Way with Martin Sheen. I'm not familiar. I should look that up. I don't know. And then the Chapter Chat Book Club was at the Green Roast Cafe on the 15th, on Monday. And come and discuss this month's title, Love and Other Consolation Prizes. Okay. A couple other things that are coming up real quick that I'll tell you about, and then you'll know what's going on.
Well, in the meantime, while you find that, The Way is with Emilio Estevez and Martin Sheen. Is about a father who travels to France to retrieve the body of his estranged son who died while attempting the pilgrimage to Spain, Santiago de, Compostela. He resolves to take the journey himself in an effort to understand both himself and his son.
Okay. I just want to remind people, like Lunch in the Park is this summer. The next one is June 18th, and then July 2nd and August 6th are the ones they have scheduled so far.
Okay.
And we were down to the one that the library did. It was a potato bar kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was very good. I like that. Farmers Market is down at the old Shears grocery store parking lot, the Performance Rehab parking lot now, and Olivia
Frush.
Frush, okay. Not Olivia Hammer, but Olivia Frush is kind of taking charge of that. And they're having it's on Saturdays, and they're having a nighttime market on June the 27th with live music and food available and that sort of thing.
Dale, the Wandering Table had the most moving experience, and I can't tell you, I can't.
Sure you can.
I mean, I could, but I can't.
Oh, okay.
Break confidence here.
Okay.
But I had the most moving experience I've ever had. At Saturday's Farmers Market at the Wandering Table.
Okay.
It was remarkable. Just stunned me. I mean, brought people to silence.
All right. Well, I'm very curious, but I will not ask you to break your confidence. But it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you never know, right?
Yeah.
What's going to happen. So that's nice. Okay. There's another evening market on August 22nd, but the farmers market is on Saturdays from 9 to 12. Okay. And then Jesup Bible Fellowship is having this Father's Day grill out on June the 20th at 5 o'clock. Remember, Farmers Day is July 9 through 11, and we're lining the streets, Main Street and 6th Street with flags on July 2nd. We're putting those up, and they'll be up quite a while. I think they're waiting through RAGBRAI to do that. And the Veterans Memorial dedication, they're doing a lot of work down there, if you've noticed. More cement, more bricks going in. It looks really nice, and you can just really see the potential there. And that'll be July the 5th. And right across the street, there'll be a World War II, a replica of a sign that was up in World War II with the names of all the Jesup area residents that were serving in World War II. And I think you'll be very impressed with that. It's really quite the deal.
That's right across the street from the Heartland Event Center.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it was on that corner, and we're going to put it up in the same spot. And Mr. Pook, his little store here on 631 Young Street. He's having karaoke on June the 13th and June the 27th, if you like doing that. Did you notice? I was talking about West Virginia.
Yep.
After every game, what do they sing?
Country Roads.
Country Roads, our favorite song.
Yeah.
We have sang that, and I'm not ashamed to say it sounded really good.
It did. Dale, tell me about those mud cakes again. You made fun of my face. I got to know about it.
I just said if it looked like you, I couldn't bear to cut into a face that looks like yours. But I do not know what mug cakes are unless they are cake where you put a batter in a coffee mug and bake it like that. That would make sense. And it rises up. Then you put a little hole in the middle, put some strawberries in there, and there you go.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, with whipped cream on top.
Well, I'll have to look it up during the break here.
I would bet all that I own that that's what it is. It's cake in a coffee cup.
We'll see here in a little while. We'll be back with that answer after these words. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, and we're back for the third half of our show. So, Dale, I want to talk about the greatest sacrifices ever done in the history of the world.
Okay.
There's nothing said. It's all opinion. I'll ask you for your opinion. I'll give you a chance to. I'll bloviate for you a while. But I give you my top 10, and then I'll let you do the top 5.
I just need 5. Okay.
Yeah, you need 5.
Okay.
So I'll go 10 to 1. Number 10, the Corazon Aquino and the People Power Revolution in the Philippines in 1986. Do you remember that? The population of the Philippines is so vast. Remember Marcos was in power, and
what year is this?
Back in 1986.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were in 18. Okay, go ahead.
1986.
All right, I'm back in the game then. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you.
Okay. That's number 10. Number 9.
Okay, I'm sorry. What did he do?
No, it was Cory Aquino. Ferdinand Marcos killed her husband as he was getting off the airplane.
Yeah.
And then a revolution started.
Yeah.
And Cory Aquino, the guy that was shot's wife, overthrew Marcos in the Philippines.
Okay, so you're saying her husband sacrificed his life for that to happen?
I'm saying what Corazon Aquino did. She led a revolution.
Yeah, where's the sacrifice?
Well, the sacrifice was running out one of the most powerful guys in Asia for years, toppling Ferdinand Marcos.
Okay.
Number 9, Taslim Nazarene. Okay,
him again? No, go ahead.
He is the Bengali author and former physician who was forced to live in exile after publishing a novel in 1993. It was about the Hindus and the Muslims, that area of the world. When India broke up, you had India, Pakistan, and
Bangladesh came later.
Bangladesh, yeah.
Okay.
You had the Hindus, you had the Muslims, and you had the Civil War. Number 7, in Burma, you had that lady that was under house arrest. Her name was Aung San Suu Kyi. She was under house arrest for 20 years.
Okay.
Obama went and visited her. She ended up quite the criminal in her own right when she took power in Burma.
Okay.
But imagine being under house arrest for 20 years.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah. Quite sacrifice.
Probably didn't have cable or anything.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Quang Duc in Vietnam in 1963. Do you remember this man?
No.
He was that monk that set himself on fire.
Okay, I didn't know his name, but I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. He
very inflammatory news story.
Yeah. He never moved a muscle, didn't utter a sound.
Yeah, they cut his tongue out.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
The people screaming around him, and he didn't move, didn't scream. Number 6, the unknown rebel that stepped in front of the tanks at the Tiananmen Square massacre.
Yeah, okay.
They still don't know who he is.
Yeah. Did they squish him though? You
No,
think, later
no.
on?
If you remember,
He stopped the tank, right?
he stopped tanks. He
Yeah.
stopped a row of tanks. A bunch of guys rode up on bicycles, ran out in the street, grabbed him like they were running away. A lot of people believe that those guys were Secret Service guys
Sure.
for the Chinese,
Yeah.
and then he went to jail, was executed.
Yeah.
Because he embarrassed China pretty bad.
Sure.
Number 5, Tommy Smith, John Carlos at the '68 Olympics in Mexico City, the fist.
I remember that.
Yep. Black Pride. That's number 5. Number 4, Emily Davidson protests and suffrage in the United Kingdom in 1913. Suffrage is women's vote.
Yeah.
Yep. She was run over by the king's horse and killed.
Was the king riding the horse?
No.
Oh, okay.
The number.
I'm sorry, what year was that?
That was 1913.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
Number 3, Rosa Parks on the bus in the Montgomery bus boycott. But most people don't realize that Rosa Parks was chosen to be on that bus by the protesters.
that's the way it usually works, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 was Gandhi's March to the Sea, the Great Salt Protest.
Yep.
And number 1, the D-Day, the casualty rate running into
Sure death.
sure death.
Yeah.
That in my mind would be is the probably the biggest sacrifice.
Yeah.
There's no way that our country could take those kind of casualty rates. We would never accept those casualty rates in our country anymore.
No.
So
we want war, but we don't want it messy.
yeah.
Yeah. And it gets me, you hear talk from Israel or from the other countries are fighting over there about rocket attacks and this sort of thing, and 2 or 3 killed.
Yeah.
I think, was it worth it to send a rocket that costs a lot of money and there's only 2 casualties? And I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't think they do either. But
So what do you got? You got a top 5 here?
well, I got 3 and then 2. Yeah, you went a little bit different track, but your D-Day thing reminded me of Iwo Jima, where the Marines attacked that, and there was total like 30,000 casualties on a much smaller piece of ground.
Yeah.
Was just a terrible thing.
That's a good one.
And I probably wouldn't have gone that way if you hadn't said that about D-Day. So it's I was thinking of when you talked about the 2 Olympians, the 49ers football quarterback would take a knee at the national anthem, and
very good.
And ended up, he has sacrificed an awful lot.
Yes, he has.
Very much so. And then Nelson Mandela gave up 30 years or more of his life to free South Africa. And can you imagine, life is so precious, and just think of all those years he lost waiting for something to happen, he gave those up. And then, I got relieved. I thought Joan of Arc is the first kind of one that popped into my mind where she followed the voices and ended up saving a king, but she ended up losing her life in a very horrific way. And then if you think about Christianity and then the sacrifice of Jesus would be another. And so that would be my number 1, I guess, is that
very good ones
in the Christian religion.
Yeah,
that would be. But the one that secular, the Nelson Mandela thing. I think about some people have a huge chunk of their life stolen from them. And several of the ones you mentioned too, house arrest or this or that, where they had a lot of their years stolen from them by a dictator or a oppressive government or whatever. And to me, that's just really, really criminal, because it shouldn't have happened to them. No one should take your life like that.
It shouldn't.
And there was, this is slightly related, but there's a program the other day about, where the military is shooting people on these running drugs in the Caribbean, and without any evidence. There's no proof, there's no warrant, they're just killing people. And the one especially where they shot the boat and killed, but 2 people lived, and they came back then and kill those two people. And that's against all the rules of warfare or whatever. That's plain out murder. And a lot of service members who are kind of connected with that are consulting lawyers and trying to see what their rights are. It's against the law to follow an illegal order. If you're a snuffy and you're running the little drone thing and 4-star generals or whatever get orders from the president and the Secretary of Defense to shoot that boat, you're in a tough spot because you have nothing on your side. You follow the order and complain later, or you disobey the order and pay the consequences later. So you probably will see some people that are sacrificed to that whole thing to make it all go away one way or the other. But
who was the guy dealing with My Lai?
Yeah,
the My Lai massacre.
Lieutenant Calley. Yeah. And there's a lot of heat about that, a lot of rigmarole, but he actually got off very easy.
Yeah.
In the end, because of all the legal things they have to go through. And one thing the military does not like is bad publicity.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do everything they can to make those things go away.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you. Those are good ones. I could change my list.
Well, you should do that, but everybody thinks differently.
Yeah. As I said, the Wandering Table has been out. Our goal is to have 100 signatures by the end of the summer. There are 20 dates set. We've been out 5 times so far. You mentioned the Nighttime Farmers Market, and we're going to be at the Nighttime Farmers Market.
And do you know about how many you have? How many signatures
There's right around 25 presently right now. So
I could think of a true story I bet to tell.
Yeah.
All my stories are true, of course.
There you go. I understand.
Maybe I could come up with a really true one.
There you go. But don't forget, Linda Schmidt and Pat McIntosh are showing at the community room at the Jesup Public Library. We talked just before the show. We have another artist that we're going to be putting up in the library very soon. I have been talking to an artist from Jesup that lives in Fairbank now. Jen Peters is her name.
Okay.
And
so she's a new artist then for you?
She is the daughter of John Peters, the lawyer for the Steve Brown Arts Center. Mm-hmm. And then Susan Stoneman, who lives here in town, actually lives in one of Mort Donnelly Designs houses that Mort Donnelly designed. And she is an artist as well. I need to schedule a meeting with her. Don't forget, we're showing Raleigh Curtis at Ems. As always, Nick Thomas at Gedney's. The Wandering Table is wandering. We have the 24-hour Mustang camera sponsored by Joe's Pizza in Independence and Manchester. The Little Free Art House just steps away from the school administration building in Independence, where you can lay hands on art supplies. Well, Dale, it's time to go, and I'm going to a seminar on multiple personalities disorders, and it takes me a long time to fill out all the name tags. So we better wrap things up.
Yeah, I mean, really, that could be a real problem.
It can be a problem. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center, or have any idea for an event, go to the SteveBrownArtsCenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@SteveBrownArtsCenter.org or call 319-290-0241 and leave a message. Dale, do we have anything else?
I think that's probably enough damage for one day.
All right. I'm Jim Gillespie with Dale Rueber and guest producer Blake Tempus. He is an artist, and we're going to get some art out there. He doesn't realize when it will be up.
Just the way he combs his hair is artistic, I think.
I'm jealous that he has hair. Our thanks, as always, to Kelly C. Haas and Harlan Business and Event Center for allowing us to use their podcast equipment and studio. Thanks to the audience for being here. The hundreds and hundreds of people.
They're very attentive and not real noisy tonight. They're very polite.
And thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. Remember that each day is about little victories.